A lot of guys have properties down there. I'd assume a few of them would jump over to those. I bet you a lot of guys are on the golf course right now or just got off of it with a day off. Those guys like to look for a reason. But yeah, a day and a half off in Miami after playing 120 baseball games with a few bucks in your pocket, probably not the worst thing.
So let's go back to what you were saying about sort of maintaining where they are. Everybody's chasing them as opposed to the way they were in the past number of years. What has to happen to keep them there? Like, what do they have to absolutely not have happen?
They've lost their identity a little bit in these last few games, and I don't mean that to be big and dramatic, but the Blue Jays are a great defensive team. We've seen that lose them for the last 5-6 days. They've made some uncharacteristic errors. They've gotten away from who they are as a baseball team. And that's going to happen to anybody. I mean, the Dodgers just lost to the Rockies. It's going to happen. But they need to get back to why they were winning. And that's a confidence thing that I think this Blue Jays team does have. They're not surprised by winning. There are teams who go on these streaks and it's kind of, whoa, how's this happening? Like, let's keep this luck rolling. The Blue Jays believe, and I think they're right, that they're winning because they're really good. And they're winning because they are consciously being a creative offense that pitches really well and fields the ball really, really well. They just got to get back to that. This team is good enough. They're in first place for a reason, but some sloppy defense lately. The base running hasn't quite been there. A couple of tough starts as well, honestly, from the starting rotation, which is full of veterans. And you have not seen that big offensive outburst recently against a good team or a mid-range team. So I think they're close. I feel like I'm doing my best John Schneider impression. I think they're close. I promise they're close, but it's just an identity issue for the Blue Jays right now. Not losing it by any means. They're just 1 inch off to the side. They just need to get back onto that path. I think they're right there, but this is the first time in a couple of months we've seen them just struggle a little bit to get that momentum rolling, because before it was all momentum. Through June, July, the most momentum in Major League Baseball. Then we saw the Brewers do that as well, and they fell off a little bit. They've just got to get it back.
Speaking of a team that does not lack an identity, Keegan, the Yankees, they truly are the Bronx Bombers. I mean, leading the major leagues in home runs by a considerable margin, just reeled off 14 home runs in 2 games against the Rays down in their spring training facility of all places. Now, how close are they, in your estimation, to making a run here and making it difficult for the Blue Jays? Judge has been hurt, and they've had their pitching problems, not to mention their defensive ones. But man, are they mashing, and it's getting a little intimidating, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a lot of problems, but they do one thing damn well: they hit home runs. And when you do that, you can go on a hot streak just like this. And if you get into a postseason series and you're the Yankees, that's the beauty of home runs. You can do 5 things wrong, but if you hit a couple of home runs, you win, and I'm writing a story about home runs. You forget about the errors. You forget about the manager and whatever thing he said that day. You forget about starting pitching in the bullpen. Power can wipe away everything. Now, at the same time, the reason the teams aren't selling out for power like this, you could also get shut out for 4 games in a row. But when you're hot, you're hot. And the Yankees have been there and done that. They know how this works. Nothing is new to them. And anytime they're getting hot, just a little bit of momentum, you need to worry about that. Same thing with the Red Sox. They have not gone away either. But New York especially, guys, when we start to look at playoff matchups, it's August 21st right now. Into September, every game after the Blue Jays win or lose, we'll be saying, listen, they're 3.5 up in the AL East. If the playoffs ended today, blah, blah, blah. They'd be facing the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Astros. If they match up against the Yankees, the Blue Jays starting pitchers give up a ton of home runs. One of the highest numbers in baseball, I think only behind the A's still. That's a scary matchup. I think the Blue Jays are still the better baseball team in most ways, but home runs are loud. Man, if you hit the most home runs in a game, you've got a real good chance. And the Yankees will always be scary because of that. They are, I don't think, a great team, but they do one thing really well.
Keegan, what have you thought of Bieber so far, and what will all the fans and then their management group be looking for in his start tomorrow night?
This is a big one, guys, and he is a really, really smart pitcher. And he's not going to blow guys away. He's not going to throw 99. He's not going to snap a slider across the zone that makes a guy fall down. That's not him. But there's an incredible amount of precision to his game. He's probably throwing more 92, 93 with his fastball. But when he is good and when he's healthy, he's one of the 8 or 10 best starting pitchers in baseball. And we've seen him do that a couple of times. He's also someone capable of going deep into a game. There's some old school. There's some throwback to Shane Bieber, which you see in Scherzer, Gosman, Barrios, Bassett, on and on. He really fits in this rotation. He's not the modern young starter who might give you 4 innings with 11 strikeouts, but throw 110 pitches that quickly. He's a throwback. He can go deep. And the thing I'll be watching for, guys, this is really getting down to control versus command. If he wants to throw a high fastball, he's going to be able to throw a high fastball. No problem. He's Shane Bieber. He's in the big leagues. That'll work. It's about the pinpoint control. Do you want it to be in on the hands, maybe out a bit over the plate, outside edge? That's the challenge coming back from Tommy John surgery. Getting able to pick which inch of the plate you want that ball to be on. And that's the difference between a pop-up and a home run sometimes. So we'll see how that goes with Bieber, but he's nailed this, guys. He looked incredible last time in AAA Buffalo. And when he gets home next week, I think against the Brewers, I don't think it'll be quite to the level of David Price 2015, because I don't think Shane Bieber has that name value, celebrity factor that Price did back then. But it'll be pretty close, man. He is a really, really good pitcher. I think still underrated because he was stuck in Cleveland, which is not exactly a team you see on Sunday Night Baseball all the time.
So while we're on pitchers, Alek Manoah is doing well on his way back. Can you project him at any point during the course of this, what's left of the regular season?
I still don't think we'll see Manoah in the big leagues this year, and that's not a knock on his rehab. He has also nailed this. It's been a long road for Manoah to get back from this, but I think a success story, guys, is if he gets some innings in. He looked better yesterday, I believe it was, in AAA, better than the last time. That's what you want. If he is competing or winning, ideally, that number 4 or 5 job in the rotation next spring, total success story. And he does not need to be who he was back in 2022, I believe it was, finishing 3rd in the AL Cy Young Award race. If he is fantastic, great. But the Blue Jays don't need to expect that. If he can be an innings eater at the back end of the bullpen who gives them a 3.95 or a 4.2 ERA, whatever it is, that's good. That's a win. But at this point, I don't see how he fits guys in a bullpen role. He doesn't overwhelm hitters, not a lot of swing and miss. And he'd be at least 2 injuries in the starting rotation away from making the start. So this is probably a 2026 thing. Next spring training, we're talking about him. But overall, it's still a success story, and good to see him back on the mound.
But Keegan, you look at the way Scherzer's gone about his business at his age. Is he your number 1 starter if the playoffs start today?
I think he is. If they literally start today, I think it's him. Now, Shane Bieber's got a good chance to overtake him these next 5-6 weeks. I think he's the one guy with that upside. Kevin Gausman, I think, is still in that top 3 conversation, absolutely. But Scherzer is doing it different ways, and that excites me. Because normally you see someone when they're getting to the end of their career. Number 1, end of their career is typically age 34, not 41, so he's already an anomaly. But they've typically got one trick left. For a lot of guys, all they've got is their control left. They're trying to pinpoint everybody. Max Scherzer can still overwhelm people. He can still miss bats in the zone, which is hard to do when you're 25, forget 41. So this is a better version of Max Scherzer than I thought we'd see at all with the Blue Jays. Like, he has exceeded every expectation for me in Toronto, and it's happened in a strange way, but I think he has a full tank of gas now because of that thumb injury. And if you ask Max Scherzer, I'm sure he would say, shut up, I would have rather been pitching, but it's worked out. It's worked out okay, and I think he's going to be fresh for the playoffs, which no other starting pitchers are at this point. He can pinpoint you, he can overwhelm you. We just saw he can throw 104 pitches in a game. I have not talked about Max Scherzer's thumb in weeks, which is good for him and my sanity. Everything's good. So this is incredible for the Jays guys. And 2 months ago, this looked messy. If Max Scherzer goes and wins them a playoff game, this is one of the better deals this front office has done, period. Because the ceiling, the upside is there. On a 1-year deal, they might just pull this off as a really, really big win.
As we get closer to the end of the season, are you going to see this lineup kind of get more standardized? And does that include George Springer as the leadoff man?
I think so. guys. I didn't think I would see George as the leadoff man again, but this has been the season of surprises and being wrong about stuff. But he looks very comfortable there. And he is one of those all-time classic leadoff guys. He just dipped for the last year and a half in Toronto, 2024 and much of 23. But the power he has from that leadoff spot is pretty unique. We've seen the base running as well. And George Springer, I mean, I can't talk about it enough, what an incredible athlete he is. I mean, forget baseball player, but we're talking like NFL free safety, even at 35, the best athlete, across the board in that clubhouse. And that's what's helping him hold up right now. So I think he fits in there again, which is a big win for the Blue Jays because that lets you free up Bo Bichette to hit cleanup. And I like him there. That allows you to have Addison Barger in the 2 spot sometimes and Vladdy in the 3 spot where he belongs. And I do think, like you mentioned, that we will see more standardized lineups. You're not going to see as much experimenting day to day. You'll see something more like their lefty lineup and the righty lineup. You want guys to get used to this. And there'll still be the pinch hitting, the line changes, they like to call it now in baseball. That's the buzzwordy thing. But I think you'll see it pared down a little bit and be very standard in the playoffs. It's no longer about keeping guys fresh, keeping them involved. Your best guys have got to play. You've got to make the playoffs. You've got to win the AL East.
Keegan, one more before we let you go. Fisher was optioned to AAA Buffalo yesterday, in fact. Your thoughts on that and how that alters everything?